be sustainable and economic.
That will most likely have an impact on surgeries.
Today on Ignite News, Hamilton's police warned students about sexting, an important man from the North Pole visited the streets of Hamilton,
Merry Christmas!
and some vocal talents took the stage in the McIntyre Theatre.
Bright and sunny today, but it looks like we may have some flurries on the way. I've got your full forecast coming up.
The NFL is set to kick off its American Thanksgiving Day games. Find out which key division rivals are matching up today in sports.
Comedian Jerry Seinfeld is coming to Hamilton next Friday. Find out where in entertainment.
All of this and more coming up.
Good morning and welcome to your Ignite News for Thursday, November 22nd. I'm Sarah Aitchison.
And I'm Courtney McDonald. Here's what's making news.
A tentative agreement between Israel and Gaza's Hamas rulers have gone into effect and halted the 8 days of battle that left more than 140 dead. The ceasefire deal was announced at the joint Egyptian-U.S. press conference. The battle included some of the fiercest fighting seen in years, with violent cross-border attacks between the two bitter enemies. The truce is tentative. U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton will be holding an extensive talk with Egypt in the next 24 hours, which will give an indication of a peaceful settlement that can be reached.
2 members of Hamilton's police gangs unit have been arrested. Detective Constable Robert Hansen and Detective Constable Craig Rathowski are charged with fabricating evidence, perjury, breach of trust, and obstructing justice. Police launched an investigation after they became aware of possible misconduct during a criminal investigation. The 2 officers have been released on a promise to appear in court, which is scheduled for December 20th. Both have been suspended without pay since June, when the investigation was launched.
Toronto police are searching for a suspect who reportedly attacked 2 victims with a machete this morning. A man and woman were attacked near Eglinton and Loxley Avenue, just east of Dufferin Street, at about 3:30. It's not clear what triggered the assault. The man suffered a head wound and the woman suffered a laceration to the knee. Both of the victims were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Police have made 3 arrests in connection with a series of Welland fires that began on Sunday. 7 purposely set fires have occurred in Welland between Sunday and Wednesday. Most were in dumpsters, but the last few were in an empty house and an old school. 3 men have been charged, an 18-year-old man, a 22-year-old man, and a third protected under the Youth Criminal Justice Act.
9 students from a Brampton high school were told to stay home after making inappropriate comments about teachers on Twitter over the weekend. The students have not been suspended, but an official from the Dufferin Peel School Board says the tweeters will face consequences for their actions. Some of the tweets were sexual in nature, and Brampton police were called, but say no charges will be laid.
As part of a crime prevention week, Hamilton Police's crime prevention branch tackled sexting. Ignite News reporter Sarah Aitchison has the story.
A recent study shows 1 in 5 young adults have sent or posted a nude picture or video. Hamilton's Crime Prevention Branch launched a presentation on November 8th about sexting and the need for awareness for the new term. Hamilton's Crime Prevention Officer, Claus Wagner, led the presentation, stressing that sexual violence through sexting is a reality in Ontario.
Really, this is where a lot of this started, was the colleges and universities, and we're finding out now that it does have serious consequences, because you're in your first year and it's all a party and you've sent a naked picture of yourself possibly, and now you're in your 4th year and you're going out putting job applications and they go onto Facebook and then they find out this picture and you think to yourself, oh my goodness, what did I do? Amanda Todd really brought it out there to the forefront, where everybody jumped on this and said, you know what, it's not a backroom type thing, it's not a playground thing, it's not in your bedroom by yourself with your friend or your boyfriend. It's out there and it's happening all the time.
Several students at Mohawk say they have witnessed incidents attributed to sexting.
I had a friend in high school who sent a picture to a guy and he exposed her all through Facebook.
I know lots of people that have received scandalous photos, and I've seen lots of photos that maybe I didn't really want to see that much.
As technology has advanced, has sexting within the college environment increased?
I think it's increased everywhere with the increased use of technology. It becomes easier. We need to be teaching people morals and values that teach them that sending nude photos of yourself to people really, I mean, isn't the best thing to do.
Sexting may not be as sexy as it seems. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Sarah Aitchison. Hamilton doctors will be getting a financial boost to help with their tuberculosis studies. Two McMaster researchers both received $100,000 from the federal government to help further their research on shortening the length of time it takes to diagnose TB from weeks to hours. The diagnosis time is one of the reasons the disease is so deadly. TB is the second most deadly infectious disease in the world next to malaria.
It's a Christmas tradition. The streets of Hamilton were filled with families welcoming a very important man from the North Pole. Ignite News reporter Glenn Cuthbert has more on Hamilton's Santa Claus Parade.
The spirit of Christmas took over the downtown streets on Saturday as Hamilton celebrated the annual Santa Claus Parade. Thousands of people lined the streets watching the elaborate floats and marching bands make their way through the city. Spectators enjoyed the early start to the Christmas season.
Are you liking the parade? Yeah. Yeah, good time. It's our first parade, so it's awesome. It's our tradition from now on. So yeah, it's good to be here.
It was good. We got a football and they threw candy up at us on top of Jackson, so it was really good. She had a good time, and it's not too cold.
The parade route started at Queen and Main Streets and made its way through the downtown core before wrapping up beside Cops Coliseum.
Merry Christmas!
Mrs. Claus says Christmas isn't just for the kids.
I absolutely loved it. All the kids, it was just great to see and be able to, spread the Christmas cheer, and not just to the children, but to the adults as well.
The parade just wouldn't be the same without the guest of honor, the Fat Man himself. Santa had a message for all the little boys and girls.
You must be good at school, be good for your mom and dad, and get to bed nice and early on Christmas Eve.
Though there may not be any snow on the ground here in downtown Hamilton, the Christmas spirit is definitely in the air. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Glenn Cuthbert.
And here's a look back at today's top stories. Israel and Gaza Strip's Hamas rulers reached a ceasefire agreement last night, ending the 8-day terror between the two enemies. Two members of Hamilton Police Gangs Unit have been arrested and charged with fabricating evidence, perjury, breach of trust, and obstructing justice. And a couple of McMaster professors are getting $100,000 from the federal government to diagnose tuberculosis in hours rather than the typical weeks.
Looks like it'll be warmer than expected today. Let's check in with Glenn for your weather update.
Thanks, Courtney. It definitely won't feel like November outside today. Sunny across the board with Windsor sitting at 14 degrees. London is bright and 13 degrees. Toronto is sitting at 13 with sunny skies. Moving over to the Golden Horseshoe, keep those sunglasses on as we have a temperature of 13 in Niagara Falls with lots of sun. Today in the Hammer, we're the warmest in the region, sitting at 14 degrees. Taking a look at the next 24 hours in Hamilton, this evening it'll be clear and 8 degrees. Tonight overnight we'll have variable cloudiness remaining at 8 degrees. Friday morning, keep your umbrella handy as we'll have light rain and 9 degrees. Looking at the 5-day forecast, tomorrow we'll have scattered showers with a high of 9 and a low of 1. Saturday, the cold will hit, dropping to a low of 2 degrees with a low of -2. We might just see some snow on Sunday with scattered flurries in the forecast, a high of +2 and a low of -2. Starting your work week off on Monday, we'll have variable cloudiness with a high of 5 and a low of 0. On Tuesday, we'll see some light rain with a high of 5 and a low of 1. That's all I have for your weather. Let's head over to entertainment with Katie.
Thanks, Glenn. Legendary stand-up comedian Jerry Seinfeld is on tour and coming to Hamilton next Friday. Don't miss out on your chance to experience Jerry's new acts and his observational humor from his mega hit sitcom Seinfeld. Be there for all the laughs by getting your tickets now on Ticketmaster. Tickets range from $90 to $112. Mohawk College had some vocal talent spice up the stage on Tuesday night in the McIntyre Theater. I stopped by and got the story.
Shara Garrido had the crowd dancing in their seats with her rendition of I Will Survive, which won her first place in Hamilton's Teen Idol competition held at Mohawk's McIntyre Theater. The crowd heard a variety of songs, including the crowd pleaser I Will Always Love You. Natalie DiMensigno took second place with My Man. And Sarah Gervais won third place with Jar of Hearts. Judge Jordan Travis says the judges were looking at a number of elements in the winning decision.
Different categories, including like vocal techniques, stuff like that, overall performance, confidence, and basically an amalgamation of those things. So that's what we were looking for as judges, yeah.
Kelly Zarebny, the Teen Idol Master of Ceremonies, said the show has come a long way since its start over 10 years ago.
Started as a Battle of the Bands kind of event and then turned into the Teen Idol, obviously following the American Idol, Canadian Idol kind of thing.
And what did you think? Tonight's show gave Shira 4 hours of studio time to take her dreams even further. Reporting for Ignite News, I'm Katie Dislip.
Juno award-winning rock band Alexis on Fire will play their last ever show as a group December 30th at the Cops Coliseum. Last summer, the band announced they would call it quits on their decade-long collaboration, which has seen them win 2 MMVA awards and a 2005 Juno for Best New Group. Their farewell tour kicks off in nearly a week, ending it at Cops. Tickets are now on sale. General admission is almost $54. Now let's take a look at what's going on in Hamilton and here at Mohawk.
I'm Glenn Cuthbert.
I'm Peter Morin, and this is your community calendar.
Head down to the IAHS campus and make a new friend. From 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. today, you can build a free Build-A-Bear in the lobby. Is this the end for Batman? This week's Friday Flicks is The Dark Knight Rises. Watch as Bruce Wayne battles himself and Bane starting at 4 p.m. in the Arnie. And this Saturday is Mohawk's Fall Open House. Look for the Future Ready Contest Center in C-Wing to enter for your chance to win a MacBook Pro or a BlackBerry Playbook. Open House runs from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at all campuses. That's all for your community calendar. Let's go back inside the studio to entertainment.
And that's all for me, Mohawk. Let's pass it over to Rachel for your sports update.
Thanks, Katie. The Raptors lost 98-97 in a nail-biter against the Charlotte Bobcats. Andrea Bargnani had a chance to win it from the point with 1 second left, but he fell short on a controversial non-call. The Bobcats are now a game away from matching last season's win total with a 6-4 record. With the loss, the Raptors have now fallen to 3-9. Moving over to the turf, the NFL is set to kick off its American Thanksgiving Day games with some key divisional matchups. Tony Romo and RG3 meet for the first time at Cowboy Stadium in hopes of catching the Giants for a lead in the NFC East. The Patriots and Jets are also set to renew their rivalry in New York, where the Pats will be without offensive juggernaut Rob Gronkowski. Gronkowski got injured last week against the Colts and is expected to remain sidelined 4 to 6 weeks. The Houston Texans hope to remain atop the AFC South, facing a struggling Lions team at Ford Field. Kickoff for today's game is at 12:30. For fans of Canadian football, it's going to be a busy weekend in Toronto, with the city playing host to both the Vanier Cup and the Grey Cup. The Grey Cup will take place on Sunday between the Stamps and the Argos. Friday's Vanier Cup will see the defending champion McMaster Marauders play number 2 ranked Laval. McMaster's coach Stefan Potasic was named CIS Coach of the Year after leading the Marauders to a perfect 11-0 season and 2 Vanier Cup appearances. That's it for sports. Let's pass it back to Courtney and Sarah.
Way to do their annual Black Friday shopping. Black Friday has been the busiest annual American shopping day since 2005. Big retail stores like Walmart will start their in-store sales at 8 p.m. tonight, 2 hours earlier than last year. Frequent Black Friday shoppers say if you don't like crowded stores and mile-long lines, they advise you to stay out of shopping malls. Stores and online retailers will also have deals here in Canada for shoppers. We asked those in the halls at Mohawk this morning if they'll do any Black Friday shopping.
So it's really good, great deals. I went to Pennsylvania 2 years in a row, and I'm just going over the border to Military Road. Great deals overall, especially for running shoes. If you want a really good deal on running shoes, I suggest going there. But yeah, so I don't know. I hear Canada's bringing Black Friday here, so I don't know if I'll be attending that, but maybe. But overall, I think the States is a lot better.
Definitely not going to the States for Black Friday. The border line's too late. One time I went over and it's in line for like 4 hours to get back, and that's just way too long. Plus, within Canada, there's just as many deals here now, so why not stick around Canada and support our own economy?
I actually live down in the Niagara area, so lots of people down there go to Black Friday. I will not be this year because I'll be here working at the college. However, I will participate in Cyber Monday, where all the sales are online, and I'll certainly be looking for Christmas gifts.
Kids, you're staying with your grandparents this weekend. A new study at the University of Canterbury in New Zealand has revealed that sex and alcohol ranks higher in terms of happiness in people rather than their kids and practicing religion. The category that determined happy activities were pleasure, meaning, and engagement. Sex topped all 3 categories in the research. Also ranked noticeably low on the scale was using Facebook and homework, obviously.
That's all your news for Thursday, November 22nd. I'm Courtney McDonald.
And I'm Sarah Aitchison. For more news coverage, check ignitenews.ca. Thanks for watching, Mohawk.